Friday the 8th of Jan today. I'm going to go and take these to the powder coaters. They're still open, which was a bit surprised during lockdown, but yeah, I'm going to go and take these bits over to them and get it done, including this rail, and that is the awning rail that goes on the side of the van along here. It goes underneath this ledge, but it's obviously in silver at the moment and I want it in black, so I'll get them to do that. Anybody who watched the T5 video, the issue we had with the water coming in through the sill, because the so yeah, as the material is no longer on there, it's dried up in here, it's no longer wet, so that was obviously the issue. The water was hitting the material whilst on there and soaking down into the panel, so that's... So now we've ordered this panel. The fabric that was on the door there, as you saw hopefully in the bit of the time lapse, I've glued it and put it onto here. Not the best job in the world. I find it really difficult personally doing material and that, but I think once that's in it, it's going to look good. It came with grey plugs, so I've ordered a new batch which have arrived, which are down there, the black ones. So I'll put you on time lapse and I'll just quickly get this fitted on the inside of the door before I head off to the powder coaters. So it's on, but I had a bit of a nightmare. So it did say to make sure you remove the sound deadening, which I thought I had. However, this is obviously stuff the previous owner had put in, and I didn't notice. I should have looked more carefully. The reason why I was struggling so long to get this on and the clips weren't going on and it felt too tight was because all of this was in there, and just that extra thickness is enough to stop it working. Anyway, after breaking loads of clips, getting really annoyed, I've managed to fit it. It's gone on pretty well in the end and it looks pretty good. I've just undone the rails that the curtains sit on, because before the bit before covered that. However, they're in this colour, and as I'm going to the powder coaters I may as well get them done in black as well, so they'll look a lot better once they're fitted. So yeah, that's on. First thing I have noticed though is, because you've got such wide 20-inch wheels, if you look down there, as you open the door, the lower section here that protrudes out there actually rubs against the face of the tyre. So what's going to happen is, once the car's been cleaned and you get all the tyre shine, it's going to rub all across that. So the way to get around that would be to take those spaces off in there, which I might well do, because it is so close anyway. I mean, it does look good, but it's so close, it looks really good. But I don't think it'll look bad even if they're dropped in by, I'd say that's a centimetre spacer, so 10mm further in, which hopefully would mean when the door's closing that it doesn't rub on there, which I don't think it will. So I'll take that spacer off and see what it looks like. What's going on there? That doesn't look very good, does it? That to me looks like it's popped off. The other side seems to be okay. Okay, never mind. But yes, that's gone on. So what job, which should have taken me probably 20 minutes, it's probably taking me close to an hour. But anyway, it's on and it looks good. And the van's staying dry, which is excellent. So now onwards to the powder coaters. See you soon. Right, that's the powder coated bits dropped off. 150 plus the VAT, so it's going to be about 180 quid, which is a bit more than I thought it was going to be, but needs must. So other things to mention, I got some new EBC brake pads for these. They're about 32 quid. And the good thing is, on some of the discs, and some of the pads even, I think it's a Porsche and a Ferrari pad, you have to cut down the width slightly. However, these ones have actually been trimmed down to size, so they will fit directly in there without any modification required, as you can see. So they'll go in the drawer ready for when I fit that. I didn't really need to buy them now, however, it was on my list of purchases, so I thought I'd get them, so we'll stick them in there. What else? I was concerned after restoring the underside of my other racing Puma that after a while I did use it in the wet, so the rain and salt eat away at the powder coat and the bolts. However, this engine and this car I'm doing, I probably will never use in the wet. However, I've looked at this product here, corrosion inhibitor, so hopefully I can give it a wax coat, so either spray it on or apply with a cloth over all of the engine and all the sort of underside of the car and everything that's powder coated, all of these bits, so it'll work like a little bit like a normal wax that you'd put on your car bodywork, but hopefully a bit more, you know, a bit more stubborn, a bit more it'll last a bit better against the elements basically. So everything will be getting a good coat of that, to be honest. So the other thing to do is I've spoken to someone on the Puma Owners Club on Facebook, and I wanted clarification on this throttle position sensor, and after speaking with someone, they've advised me that the cables, I just have to replace them as they are. So each one I'll swap over there, so that should be straightforward. So I've just got to put these three into that grey connector. And the other thing you'll see me doing is, now I've got this positioned on there, I can't remember if I've filmed an update on this, I'll just talk you through it quickly. So I put the spacers, rubber spacers in here, so that this is always closed, and then when it gets vacuumed, because the engine doesn't want any air, it'll cause that to suck in and it'll stop the engine having forced induction. So what I'm going to do is take this off, slightly sand it and spray it silver. So yeah, that's going to be what I'm going to be working on today, and we'll see how we get on and see what else we can do. So yeah, throttle position sensor, actuator and the powder coated parts so far, and then I might well look at doing more on the exhaust. So yeah, let's see how we get on. Absolutely freezing in the garage, so I brought up Mr. D again, warming me up. So that's done. As you can see, hopefully in the time lapse, I removed the actual pins and did them correctly. My soldering, I can't seem to find my soldering iron, so I pushed the wire in and bent it back on itself and then crimped it. It's not perfect, but it should do the job. It's not going to be in and out very often, but when I get soldering iron, I'll probably pull it out and put a dab of solder on. But that's the throttle position sensor done. Other things I've been looking into is I need an air intake sensor on the inlet. So I'm thinking drilling a hole here and putting one there, which I've seen somebody else do. And with regard to the idle control valve, I'll insert a picture here so you can see what I mean. But they somebody's put a plate in here with two pipes that come off. In fact, did they? I'm not sure, I'll look into that. But they've put the idle control valve, as you'll see in the photo, here with two pipes that come off there and go into here. However, I'm not sure I'm going to do that, so I need to figure out what the best option is for me. This port here, I won't need a brake servo booster vacuum pipe because of the pedals that I'll be using and the setup that I'll be using. So this large vacuum hole here, I'm going to bring out and send three ways. I'm going to send one to the top of the fuel regulator, one down to the actuator, and another one which will go to a map sensor. Now this, usually on the Puma there's an airflow meter, mass airflow, which is a MAF sensor, which usually be about here somewhere after the, sorry, the battery died there. So I think I was saying after the air filter there's a MAF, which is a MAF sensor, which is a maximum air flow. Now with this engine I need a map sensor. Shout out to Warren again here. He had a look for me last night when he was advising me what I need to do, and he's found a map sensor that he's going to post me, which is brilliant. So thanks very much again, Warren, for that. So the map sensor will connect to the ECU, which will then control the engine, because as I said, the standard Puma runs with a MAF sensor. I need a map, and that is why I'll need an aftermarket ECU or standalone management in order to run this, because the standard management doesn't run map, only runs MAF. So if you want any more information on that, well, you can ask me a few questions. Well, I don't really know that much, I'm still learning myself. So but that's the long and short of it. I need to figure out what to do with this. I've figured out now. I'm going to measure that shortly to find out what bung I need to put in there. There is still that small little hole here, which I'll just put a screw thread in to bung up. I'm not sure what that is. I was hoping that I could put the oil dipstick onto that and connect it somehow, but I can't seem to do that. It won't quite work, so it's just in here on a zip tie for now. But again, I feel like I'm getting somewhere at the moment. So yeah, glad to get the throttle position sensor done. And now it's on to taking this apart. You'll see me take this bracket off and the plastic bit out of there, and I'm going to sand this back with some sandpaper, and then I'm going to spray it silver. So that's what you'll be seeing me do now. Okay, so I'm just having a little play with the oil dipstick, and that's going to be about the position, working around the oil lines, the starter motor. Way, the battery died. So yeah, so this is going to be the location here, and I'm just finding it really difficult to find somewhere to put that, attach it to. However, I'm going to fabricate out of this carbon fibre a little bracket that goes behind here, comes down, and then that allow it to bolt to. So I'm going to try and adapt this old fire extinguisher carbon fibre plate. So I'm thinking if I take a section out of there, cut that, or maybe not, maybe this bit here, cut that, and then that'll screw to the manifold, and then the side there I'll put a hole which will hopefully hold that steady. So yeah, let's give it a go. I'm going to get the Dremel out and do a bit of fabrication. I shit you not, I've just cut that bit off, it dropped, hey Siri stop, and I haven't got a clue where it's gone. What the fuck? Am I going mad? Jesus. Oh, dick. Right, back to it. say, it's Friday night. I've had about enough for today, so just recapping what we've done. I've given this 2 coats of paint, just letting that dry. I might give it a 3rd coat, and then that's ready to go back on here. I fit the oil relocation lines so that I can make sure that the dipstick doesn't come in contact. It's got enough clearance to that there, so you can still get a tool on it, and it's not touching, or it can't hopefully get anywhere near the connector, the live connector on there. It comes up, and hopefully you can see there that little bracket I made out that carbon fibre, just shaped it. Doesn't look too bad, to be fair. And then I'd like to have had this a little bit further over. There's a breather pipe that comes out of here, which is going to go to a catch can. I might be able to adjust it slightly and move it over this way, but for now you'll see that the pipe will fit in there quite nicely. It comes up, it's not restricted at all, and yeah, there we go, it's looking good. So put the starter motor on, obviously for now, just gently, so I can figure that out. This is the air intake sensor. I'm thinking, I don't know if I mentioned earlier, I'm thinking of drilling and putting it there, to be honest with you. It's out the way and it stops this from being cluttered. I've also put some pictures online of somebody else's Super 1600 manifold, and been chatting to him about what he used here. He managed to use one here that went to the fuel regulator, and then he used another one here that split off into different locations, so I'll use that to go down to the bottom one, and the map sensor, sorry. So yeah, it's pretty good. Doing a few bits in the garage today. Yeah, so more things ticked off. That's it. I'll have a little tidy up before I go in now. Tomorrow I aim to come back out again. A few bits I want to do. I'd like to get that completed and finished. As I said in the other video, it's stainless steel, so once I get this stripped, as you can see, it's coming off quite well. I can get that polished up and that'll be looking great. Then, other than that, all the other little bits I've kept in here have kind of done, really. Oh, I obviously went and took the bits of the powder coaters, which is good. 180 quid, as I mentioned earlier, so it's a bit more expensive than I thought, but they need to be done. And then, it's this. Over to this. And now I've got the drill and that. Hopefully I can strip that back relatively quickly and put a load of silver Hammerite smooth paint on it, or I might go for hammered actually. It might be better where it's a bit rough, it won't show any problems. Then what I'm going to do is drop the engine to the floor, put the flywheel on and clutch, mount the gearbox to it, and then that's the engine pretty much there. There's a few final tweaks to do in terms of the idle control valve. Got to decide where I'm going to put that still. The pulley, which is coming on the 12th. Yeah, other than that, it's looking good. Really happy with how it's turning out. I'll have to get a plate made to go on here. I got a friend who works with CNC machines, so I'm sure he can measure these distances, create an alley plate, which is probably just a centimetre thick or what have you, with a part on the end to put some piping on to go to the breather. Block these holes up. So yeah, really happy at the moment with this, another step forward. Tomorrow's list then is clean these bolts up. Gonna put wire brush on there and get them sent off to Alex, who I've known for some good few years now. Friend through Ford Racing Puma. He'll get them zinc plated for me, and then that'll be a load more bolts done. So yeah, that's gonna be it for now. So happy with that. So for now, I've got to get on.